Lucas Live. I have my wingman Dustin Hurst back after I had to run the whole operation on Wednesday. I think I did okay, but I'm glad to have Dustin back. He has had a busy week, this dude. He has. And so glad to have him back on Steph Lucas Live. He is here to help us out with what he has been chasing down all week. It is this madness with grocery tax repeal, which now goes a lot deeper than grocery tax repeal. It is essentially a matter of not enough bills being heard in the Idaho legislature, and especially in the Idaho House. That's what it's all come down to this week. And then we're going to have a great talk about Corey DeAngelis and how that event went on Monday. We might let Dustin replay a clip of Dustin Hurst in all his glory coming up on the Steph Lucas Show. And we're back. So, Dustin, I know this has been a ridiculous week for you. So, on Wednesday, there were a lot of clips of Representative Ron Nate on the Idaho Freedom Foundation's social media pages, especially Facebook. That was got a lot of attention. Representative Ron Nate was trying to get House Bill 448 out of committee. So that can be heard. And that was on Tuesday, I believe. Yep. It was on Tuesday that it happened. I covered it Wednesday night. Tuesday, I saw it happen. I was watching all of this, and I said, I'm going to go home and I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to process, and then I'll take care of this tomorrow. I don't know how you felt about it. Well, I do know how you felt about it. Yeah. You made a secret about it. So you had Corey DeAngelis on Monday. That was a huge event. That went off well. We'll talk about that in a bit. And then we had Representative. Is your cat here? Last week we had my cat. It looks like you have one.
I have a guess. Keep going.
This dude, he's always going. You can handle it though.
I'm gonna threaten a grounding here in a second. So
that's all right.
I'm gonna donate to the Democratic Party $50 in your name if you don't get out.
You know, I have 5 kids. I understand. I have 5 children. Yeah. I have 3 cats. It's a madhouse. I get it.
Anyway, okay.
We're talking about Representative Ron Nate, and he was trying to get that bill pulled out of committee, and it was a bill about grocery tax repeal, and I believe he used House Rule 17 to try and get that bill brought out of committee, and it was involving maybe like a personal bill. Could we explain to the audience or those who may not how those two connect? House Rule 17, personal bill. How does it fit together?
Okay, so let me say this before we start into all this mess and muck. I wish we could go one episode without talking about the grocery tax repeal. Like, I like the issue because it's important, but oh my gosh, can we just fix this?
I'm good at building stuff. I'm going to make us a little calendar. It's going to have a sign on it. It has been blank days since we talked about grocery tax repeal. And every day we're going to have to flip it back to 0.
Every day.
And we are going to actually give that away as a prize, now that I think about it, on the Steph Lucas Live show.
Someday we won't need that, but today is not that day, and tomorrow won't be either. Okay. So here's what happened. Here's what's going on in the Idaho legislature this week. Oh my gosh.
Your house is haunted, bro. Your house is haunted.
So Ron Nate has been pushing for grocery tax repeal for years, forever. Like, as long as I have been alive, I think he's been pushing for grocery tax repeal. Right. And the oligarchy, led by Scott Bedke, has said, no, we don't want to give conservatives a win. So we're not going to let that bill be heard. They have gone to extreme lengths to stop the bill from being heard.
Right.
I mean, the chairmen are saying no, not giving it a hearing. And that's what's happening this year. Ron Nate approached Steve Harris, the chair of the local government tax committee, or the tax and revenue committee in the House, and said, hey, I want this to be an arena of ideas. I want to hear grocery tax this year. And Steve Harris said no. Now, keep in mind, this is the same Steve Harris that voted for grocery tax repeal back in 2017. He actually signed on to the lawsuit over the fumbled veto of that bill.
Yeah, that's a whole different episode, but it really is. Shenanigans happen.
Yes, all of the shenanigans. And then what happened after that? He became a chairman.
Mhm.
He was handed the keys to the tax committee by Scott Bedke. Well, what does that mean? That means that if you are a loyalist, you have to be loyal. And Scott Bedke doesn't want the grocery tax repeal.
Right.
So that leads us to this session. Again, Ron Nate approached Steve Harris and said, I want to have this bill before the committee. Let it get an up or down vote. That's all I ask. Let it get the vote. Steve Harris says no. Okay. So Ron Nate put it in as what's called a personal bill, which,
Okay.
as a legislative privilege, you can write any bill basically that's somewhat constitutional and throw it in the hopper and say, I want this in the process just so people can see it. It can have a bill number. We can look at it. We can poke at it and see if maybe
Right.
it's not ready for prime time this year, but we can look at it in a couple years or whatever. That's typically what that has been used for in the past.
Rub with the people something.
Yeah, exactly. So he put it in as a personal bill, and all personal bills, at least under Scott Bedke, go to Ways and Means Committee. Who's
Mhm.
on the Ways and Means Committee? Mike Moyle,
Moyle.
Jason Monks, and Megan Blanksma, and Paul Amador.
Is this where good bills go to die?
There are two places where good bills go to die:
The
the
Senate.
Senate and House Ways and Means, and
Yeah.
that's where this bill resides. So earlier this week, it was, I believe, Tuesday. It
Mhm.
was Tuesday. Ron Nate made a Rule 17 motion to call the bill out of committee.
Right.
Had this motion passed, the bill would have been up for debate instantly on the House floor.
Mhm.
But Paul Amador, the lapdog chairman of House Ways and Means, says, Mr. Speaker, I move that we excuse the committee from having to report the bill. So that
Okay.
says we keep it in committee. So they argued for, I think it was about an hour
Yes.
about
And we
this.
could
And
play the whole thing, but about an hour.
we could. I don't want to. It was fun. It was actually kind of fun because there was some sniping going on between, the Greg Cheneys and the Heather Scotts. And I'll be honest with you. I was a little annoyed during this debate. Did you watch it, by the way?
I did watch this debate. I talked about it on Wednesday night. I played a clip of it where Greg Cheney got very upset and said we
Yes.
wouldn't have any of these goings on, to paraphrase.
I love Greg. He's a good guy overall, but politically he's dead wrong on so many things.
Right.
But he basically said, hey, and he was talking, by the way, he was talking directly to IFF, because we have characterized every vote, even procedural votes, as grocery tax votes, because these are the only votes we're going to get. We're not going to get a straight up or down vote in committee on grocery tax because Steve Harris won't allow it. So
I actually have that clip of Cheney if you want to play that later. I have it here.
It was so good. It was.
Do you want to play it? It only lasts 2 minutes.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it for fun.
This is where he gets snarky with Heather. Don't forget. He's tired of interruptions. Here we go.
Gentleman from 10.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I know that we're spending more time on this than any of us wanted to, but I just wanted to make a few comments about our responsibility to deal honestly with the public in relation to this motion. Those who introduce personal bills, myself included, do so conceding the bill will not get a hearing.
Object, Mr. Speaker. I object.
And I object to the constant interruption by those who don't like what's being said in a debate.
Stop. The lady from 1 has objected. State your objection.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. He doesn't know why people do what they do. He can maybe speak for himself on why he runs personal bills, but he has no idea why me or any other of the 15 or 20 personal bills are in there. He does not know our motives.
Right.
Speak for yourself.
There's absolutely no factual basis in my 8 years here that would support a presumption other than the fact that a personal bill will not be heard. So those who are here have the opportunity to view the same factual instances as the rest of us. To project a different expectation to the public is to pretend as though the goings-on here aren't as they are. We are moments away from filling up the board with green and red lights, and then that vote is going to be taken as a stand-in on the merits of the bill, which is going to be a lie. But it'll happen just as soon as the vote's taken. And I think that as a body, we have a responsibility to be honest with the public about how we comport ourselves that exceeds such a staged attempt to present
Mr. Speaker, I object. He's attributing motives to those who might disagree with his position.
All right, your objection is heard by the body and by the gentleman, and he'll proceed with that in mind. Go ahead.
I will proceed with that in mind. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Our personal bill opportunity is a courtesy to one another to present an idea that we can't quite get enough support around for a committee introduction. We should respect that fact in this vote, and respect the fact that the hard work on any of these personal bills to create enough of a consensus to even get an introduction has not been done. And so, Mr. Speaker, I would urge your aye vote.
Bull crap.
So I gave my take on this on Wednesday. I shall let you have the floor and break it down.
Bull crap. So it's easy to talk about consensus when you are a member of the legislative oligarchy,
Right.
when you are a powerful elite. And by the way, I was messaging with Greg while this debate was going on, so it was kind of fun. But I said, dude, you've got to be kidding me. This is the most nonsensical point. They have consensus. By the way, most Idahoans support grocery tax repeal. Most everybody in that capital at
both
one
parties
time has voted for grocery tax repeal.
Yeah,
There is consensus. But you know what's going on? Scott Bedke doesn't want to give Ron Nate a win. That's what's going on. And we all know it. And nobody is calling him out on it, except for me. And Scott Bedke doesn't really care about what I have to say. And he doesn't really have anything to care. He cares not one bit about what anybody in the state has to say. It's amazing. In a time, I'm going to burn here for a second.
Go ahead.
In a time when Republicans and Democrats can't even agree on if boys are boys and girls are girls, they can agree on one thing in Idaho. One thing. Ilana Rubel, the left, like far left, like crazy left, leader of the House Minority Caucus from Boise, agrees with Heather freaking Scott on something. Heather freaking Scott and Ilana Rubel agree on something, guys.
You call this the wingtip caucus, right?
That's exactly what it is. It's really cool. I actually kind of like it because there are some Democrats who are my friends, and we get to talk about these key issues. It's like mandatory minimums, decriminalization of marijuana, which a lot of people on the right disagree with me on, or grocery taxes.
You're able to have discussions about it, which is something that's so lost in politics these days.
Yeah, exactly. And when Heather Scott and Ilana Rubel agree on something, and you are holding it off, and I think it's like 75% of Idahoans agree with this too.
Right.
You are out of touch with the average Idahoan. You have no idea what the average Idahoan wants or needs, and you're fooling yourself if you think you're doing the right thing for the state of Idaho.
So Greg Chaney discussed this, and he kind of preempted his vote, saying people are going to take this and make it like we voted against the grocery tax. What do you make of that?
Okay, cool. You know why they're doing that is I'll give you the insider scoop there.
Okay.
A couple of weeks ago we talked about, and this is when I got really heated, when Christy Zitto moved to send a bill to the amending order to insert grocery tax. It was the tax cut bill.
Yes.
And she got slapped down by leadership. Absolutely slapped down.
They wrote the letter.
Yeah, it was that whole thing. The Senate doesn't have a board. The Senate doesn't have a board like the House does, the big vote board with the green and red names. So I had my graphic designer make one, and they lost their minds. It was very obviously a fake, by the way, but they lost their minds. We had several senators ask us to take it down because it's so fake. And I said, no, it shows the vote. Absolutely shows the vote.
It wasn't the fakeness that they wanted to get out there and you've sullied the Senate. It's the fact that they didn't want their names out there.
Exactly. Accountability is hard. They want to have it both ways. They want to be able to vote against the grocery tax at every single turn, and they don't want to be held accountable. Well, it doesn't work like that, guys. I'm sorry. It just doesn't.
Not anymore.
Read your book. Sorry.
I can interview her. I can actually ask her the questions representatives and senators wish I would ask, like, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream? I think
she would actually answer some of the policy questions better than
probably
than
would. I mean, for crying out loud.
Yeah, so
she's homeschooled, right? So that's we should
exactly.
When we talk about education choice, we'll just bring her on out.
She's smarter than I am. I mean, I went to government school, so gross. Okay, so we had Tuesday, right? Ron Nate, procedural motion, and it failed. He got 20-something votes or something. We knew that one was going to fail. Absolutely knew it. So
and they thought that was the end of Ron Nate.
No, there is no end to Ron Nate. Guys, the Energizer Bunny of conservatism. I don't know. I have tons of energy. I don't know how he does it. And he's like 400 years old.
He's just high on life. That's all I can figure. He's just high on life, man.
He's the happy warrior.
It is love of economics. Yeah,
right. So the argument was that this was a procedural vote inappropriately applied in the House. By the way, all the rules allow for this because whoever wrote the rules planned for Scott Bedke to be an oligarch. That's why that rule is there. So when people tell you this was an inappropriate use of the rules, bull crap. Yeah. This was a perfect use of the rules. That's why it's there.
So why are they arguing it's not the correct use of the rules? They just want to get off scot-free?
They want to be held accountable. Okay. They want you to think that they are doing everything they can to bring grocery tax repeal, but the other body, the Senate's to blame, the governor's to blame, the gravity's to blame, global warming's to blame.
Firing squad, right? Global warming's to blame. It's everyone else's fault, but the people representing us, and so they're pointing the fingers here.
Exactly. And by the way, a lot of people say, well, we can't send the bill to the amending order. This is my senator impression. We can't send the bill to the amending order because there might be a hostile amendment. Okay, if you know how a hostile amendment works, it's an amendment that is not friendly to the bill, that may not be supported by the sponsor. So typically what Democrats or Republicans would say is, well, Democrats are going to bring a hostile amendment and ruin our tax cut, so we can't allow that. There are 7 Democrats in the Senate. 7. You control the process. Don't give me your bullcrap excuses, guys. There's Halloween decorations in here too. Now this is just
you should put those on when you do your senator impression. Just
I should.
Big pumpkin. I should.
I need some caviar. Anyway, okay. So come Thursday.
So they think they're going to stop Ron Nate. This is not going to happen.
Never.
So we're on Thursday.
Yes. So Thursday, I was actually in the gallery for this one. I enjoy going to the gallery and watching these debates.
I remember this. I believe you received a monetary challenge.
I did. Things, but I didn't actually see that until after the debate because I was so wrapped up in it. It was, Mike Kingsley.
Your brother shut that down real fast.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah. So the pathetic, terrible, awful, minuscule grocery tax credit increase bill came up.
House Bill 590. How much are they proposing to increase our tax credit?
$20. $20 per person.
And not now.
Not now. When the state has $1.9 billion. That's with a B. That's like my taco budget for the year, but they have it.
Level money. That is $2 billion.
That's a lot. That's more. That is the biggest surplus the state has ever had. Now, I understand that we need to be prudent with it because we don't know how much of it is ongoing and how much of it is one time thanks to like stimulus and increased sales tax revenue because people had lots of stimulus dollars to spend, right?
Instead of chipping away at things like, hey, bridges, hey, mental health, hey, this. Instead of chipping away, can we put it towards one actual issue with lasting impact?
Yes.
We can't. Yes. According to Brad Little, we cannot.
So that bill comes up on the floor. And by the way, your point is noted too. It doesn't help anyone until 2024. No one. My tax bill for my kids, my grocery tax for my family is due now. It's due now.
Right. Every time you go to the store, it's due.
I went to the grocery store today. It's due now. Inflation, Brad Little and Jim Addis, is happening now.
7.5% over last January, and that's just what the Labor Department is telling us.
Yes.
I imagine it's
Nobody
much
buys
worse.
that. Nobody
Yeah.
buys that.
Nobody
It's
buys
both.
that because you and I go to the grocery store and I'm thinking, no, I think this is more of a 25% increase, not
No,
a
it's
7.5% increase. It's
It's
ridiculous.
crazy. I'm gonna start dealing drugs. Like I can't afford my life.
You're already driving for Uber. Come
Yeah.
on, man.
That's what I'm doing right after this. Is I'm going out to do Uber. So good
You're
times.
burning the candle at both ends, but I
Yeah.
appreciate you.
You got to do what you
I
got to do.
appreciate you
Okay.
driving them drunks home. All right.
It's so much fun. You know what I should do is I should put a camera in the car and bring clips in of drunk people and
Great.
play them sometimes just for
Well, if you were a
entertainment sake.
Democrat, you could get them to fill out ballots, but you're not that way. So
Well, I'm not. I don't drive to the graveyards either. So there's that. Anyway, okay. So
Moving on.
the bill comes up, and Ron Nate stands up and says, "No, send
No.
this to the amending order." Now, okay, let's accept that the previous vote was procedural. Cool. I don't accept that, but you can. This was a direct vote on the grocery tax, and don't you dare let anybody tell you that it wasn't.
Right.
Because they had the choice. He was within the rules, and he said, okay, we can keep this bill as it is, which is the lame grocery tax credit, or we can give you grocery tax repeal. Which do you want?
He said, this bill is lame. Let's do grocery tax repeal. And there was debate. And guess who joined him?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Ilana Rubel from Boise. I think we have that clip queued up. Go ahead and try that.
I am
We'll
looking.
see.
I don't see it. I have Ron's clip.
Well, play one of them. Play anything.
Right. Let's have Representative Ron Nate give his debate. Here we go.
Lady from 18.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
It's Rubel. Here we go.
Thank you. You know, I think we all have to wrestle
hear
with this
that.
question because we so many times are given something that is, you know, a little crumb of what we want, and we must ask ourselves, is something better than nothing? And I think that's where a lot
I
of
can
us
hear it
find
on my
ourselves now.
computer.
You know,
Can you
is
I can hear it.
$20 in 2 years better than nothing ever? And I think, you know, you have to ask yourself this question on the specifics of each instance because, you know, you might think something's better than nothing, but it isn't always, actually. It's a little bit more complicated than that. There is sometimes some danger in taking the something in lieu of nothing because the message goes out to the world sometimes that the problem's been solved. And unfortunately, we live in a world where there isn't the degree of civic engagement that I might wish across the world. And there will be a talking point that goes out that says, you know, we addressed grocery tax this year. We increased the grocery tax credit. Nothing to worry about here anymore, folks. The problem was addressed. And the crumb is so infinitesimally small in this case that I don't think it's worth handing out the fig leaf to the world of appearing that we have done something on addressing grocery tax. And so in this instance, I would urge you to hold to your guns and push for something real. I think that, as I said, the crumb is too infinitesimally small here to be worth any message going out to the world that I think would be a very confusing one, that anything meaningful has been done about grocery tax. Because to be clear, if this passes, it has not. House Bill 509 would do nothing meaningful whatsoever for anybody. And I think by passing it, we will actually be setting back the cause of doing something meaningful.
Boom. Boom.
So, traditional conservatives.
Amazing.
With a Democrat. And I noticed they've called it crumbs, and she's saying they're infinitesimally small. That's the part I disagree with. We're not talking crumbs. We're talking particles. They're so tiny they'll make it through your COVID mask. Okay.
Oh, that was a good one. That's a really good one. That was one of the best debates I've seen on the floor because it was completely, totally honest, and it was pushing for higher tax relief from a Democrat, which was cool.
Yes.
And by the way, the House Republicans, nobody sees this stuff, but the House Republicans kind of admitted that their tax bill sucks in a press release put out after this whole debate. So everybody got their talking points in, everyone postured or whatever. There was a press release put out by the House GOP caucus, Megan Blanksma, who is not good at PR, by the way, just not good at it. But the press release had two problems with it. Number one, they're talking about the grocery tax credit that they just increased in the House. It didn't mention when it takes effect and when it helps people.
Right.
That's strange.
I
I'm sure they just
mention that.
I wonder if that was just like edited out by the editor, or if it just like slipped their mind. They were busy, like they're like, hey, I gotta get to this lunch with the lobbyist, so I gotta type this up quickly and like let's go. And they just forgot.
Yeah. No, they just want those election talking points for primaries coming up. I provided grocery tax relief. No, you provided $20. And that's why we keep beating this to death on this show. You need to be prepared to ask your lawmakers exactly how much money is in that grocery tax repeal and when it's going to take place. Right?
Yeah, and we'll
Shut
get
them
to that
down
in
on
just a
that
second.
point.
Yeah, no, you're
Shut them
absolutely right.
down on that point. And I would like to make this point. I think Wayne would actually find this amusing. I went and got the oil changed in my car on Wednesday, third time this year. Because gender equality has not taken over at the place I get the oil change yet. They have ladies.
Wait. It's February.
Yeah.
You've had your
in the
oil changed
last
3
year.
times? Oh, okay.
In the
I was like,
last
wait,
year. No, my
like,
car's not leaking
maybe
oil.
we do need to check to make sure you're doing this
All
right.
right, look, Steph. I don't know a whole lot about cars, but I know, in the last year, I've gotten it changed 3 or 4 times, right?
Yeah.
So when I go on Ladies' Day, they give me a $10 discount because I'm a lady, and they give me a nice flower. Sorry, you're going to have to send your wife instead of you. You're like, oh, so here's the thing, Dustin. Private industry has already saved me and given me more money than the Idaho legislature has.
It's amazing.
So
it's insane.
Private industry to the rescue.
Yeah.
Thanks.
The other point is the press release had at the bottom, it said, we have given Idahoans $200 million in ongoing tax relief, as if they had just repealed the grocery tax. That's not true.
No.
It's not true. So what they did is that the grocery tax credit increase is like $32 million. Right. The ongoing increase the ongoing credit that is already handed out is about $165 million. So you add those two up and you get $200 million. They're being completely dishonest about what they're giving you because they know it sucks.
So it was a carefully crafted press release.
Oh, it was the worst. And my favorite thing is I do love getting in the mix on social media. I shouldn't, but it's cathartic for me.
I think it's hilarious.
Love every place, the news, the GOP, everywhere. They're absolutely getting lit up about this everywhere. Everyone's like,
because their headlines say Idaho tax credit increase headed to. It's like, this is the worst headline in the world. If it said paltry Idaho grocery tax increase, then that would be something.
Yes.
Or $20 credit, right? We're talking education.
This is why I need a tax credit or a grocery tax cut right here.
Hello, little person.
Yeah. So that's Holly, by the way. So she's joining us tonight.
Harley or Holly?
Holly.
Hi, Holly.
Yeah, she can't hear you, and that's okay.
Oh man, she's waving though.
There she goes. Okay, so get out of here. Anyway, so it's a terrible bill, and I will tell you,
you drive it. You could get her to drive Uber, man. You got to get these kids to work.
I'm trying to get her to get some teeth out so I can get that money from the tooth fairy, but whatever, someday. Anyway,
you'll probably give her more than $20.
Yeah, but then we'll have to tax some of it and give it to the Idaho legislature because they need it. So
you should report your tooth fairy findings, your lemonade stand.
I'm sure it counts as like a use tax that you have to give to the government somehow. So anyway,
she loves you so much.
She really does. She's the best. Anyway,
it's all right. I don't mind it. So tax credit. We've accepted that Holly is here. She's adorable. All right. So
let me ask you this, Steph. A number of conservatives, I think Ron Nate, Tammy Nichols, a few others, voted against the tax credit, which is a daring thing to do in the election year.
Yes. And I was
thinking, would you have voted against it?
I would have totally voted against that. And I said that on my radio show today. I said, now, if I were a legislator, and I don't often play armchair warrior here, but if I were, I would have said, this is a slap in the face to my constituents. You can have our $20 back and do better.
Right.
That's what I would have said. And if somebody went up against me for re-election and sent out their dumb little smear flyers, Stephanie Lucas didn't vote for grocery tax increase, I would spend thousands of dollars on a flyer in reply or even beforehand and cut them off at the pass and said, I'm not going to let the Idaho legislator and these rhinos slap you in the face. That's not what I do. And that's why I said no. So anything from my opponent is false. That's what I would say.
Exactly. And I think Ilana Rubel made a great point, which is doing something small today, something terrible, this $20 piece of garbage means that we won't get the real reform that we need, which is grocery tax repeal. It's not going to happen.
Based on a lie. Any campaign promises, and I voted for grocery tax credit increase. It's a lie.
One of the great things is I'm marking my calendar right now for about the first week in May. There are going to be mailers all over the place coming from these cronies, and they're going to say exactly that. I gave you grocery. They won't say grocery tax credit relief. They'll say something to that effect, kind of like the common sense conservative thing, right?
Carefully crafted.
Yeah, very carefully crafted about giving grocery tax relief to protect against Biden inflation. There are going to be so many lies, and the great thing is, I get to, and you will probably be here still. I hope.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
You will get to say.
Some people wish I would, but I won't. Right?
We will get to say, here, Greg Cheney is lying to you, or Mike Moyle is lying to you, or it's going to be fantastic, and I can't wait to do it.
Explain this. Here's flyers for everyone. They're just like free crack pipes. You get a flyer, you get a flyer, and you get a flyer explaining why grocery tax credit increase.
It's coming, absolutely. So I know that we're kind of sort of out of time, and I'm being choked to death right now. But
she got a good chokehold, though. You should tap out.
I know, I will. Yes. So Matt Bundy is already doing it. Tony, thanks. That's great to know. It doesn't surprise me at all.
Oh, what are you reading? Because I'm not on the comments.
You're not. You can switch over, scroll over to the comments and read. There are some to answer a couple questions over there. No, the Idaho legislature allows for a filibuster, but it's very difficult to do. And I think you can speak for a maximum of 3 hours. Brian Zollinger tried it a while back,
and he can do it too. I know that boy. He can talk.
He can talk. And you can feel, but I will tell you, this isn't over. I can't tell you anything else, but I will tell you this isn't over.
You can tell me later, right?
Going to stop. We will do this again and again and again and again, because I think we're making a difference, and I think leadership is starting to feel the pressure, and I know that a few different groups across the state are going to be releasing ads about this in the next few days because people are upset.
The jig is up. I talk about it on my show all the time. I say, look, guys.
Angry rants while she's here. Okay, I'll jump in the other room. Get out of here.
Tell her to buy her some ice cream. They always do that.
Yeah.
5 kids, I know.
So I would ask the folks in the comments section, first of all, 2 things. This is your show. I'm taking over for a minute. I hope you don't mind.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Do me a favor. Actually, 3 things. If your lawmaker tries to put lipstick on a pig or polish a T word, you let me know. Dustin at idahofreedom.org. You send me the screenshot, the email, send me whatever they're doing, because I want to know and I want to call them out. And we'll invite them on the show. They won't come, but we'll invite them on the show to explain why they can't get this done. Right. Second thing, there are a number of town halls taking place across the state tomorrow. I know there's a big one up in North Idaho.
Yes.
I believe there's at least one in the Magic Valley. Right. And oh my goodness. Somebody's getting grounded tonight. Go to those town hall meetings or call your lawmaker and say, when is your town hall meeting? And ask them about this and be educated about it. Go to idahofreedom.org. We have some articles about this. The bill rating is on the Idaho Freedom Index, idahofreedomindex.com. Do your research so you know they won't think you're an idiot and you sound credible to the people around you. But ask them, hold them accountable, take video and send it to me. Don't let them get away with this. They will
Exactly.
try to lie to you all day long. Do not let
Exactly.
it happen.
No,
Do not let it
exactly.
happen.
And I'm looking down at my phone here so I can find. I just want to bring this up about the tone deafness. Now, what has Governor Brad Little said before about grocery tax? If it crosses his desk, he'll sign it.
Weird.
So we have all this stuff. How does walnut chicken or walnut pheasant sound right now? Today, I got an email from Governor Brad Little. His wife wants to share with us one of her favorite recipes for Valentine's Day: walnut covered pheasant. After the grocery tax debate.
It'd be it'd be way cheaper with grocery tax repeal, Governor. That was weird. That was weird, by the way.
Tone deaf.
Yes, completely.
Tone deaf.
Yes. Yeah. I didn't
On
think
the
about
part
it. I
of
tweeted about that
leadership
today, but I forgot about it because it was so the weirdest
That's why I
message.
saw your smile. I was like, oh, he knows where I'm going with this.
No, that was strange. That was strange. But
Tone deaf. Someone just said roadkill for dinner again tonight, honey. That's where we at. That's where we at.
Yeah.
So
it's legal, so you can do it.
It is. It's legal. It's also legal in Wyoming now. Apparently, you couldn't take roadkill before, but I never did in the first place. Whatever.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yes, I just wanted to bring that up.
No,
Now,
I love it.
it's that's how we've explained what's going on this week. And I know there's tons of other bills, but here's the thing: we're focusing on this because this has been the biggest issue in the legislative session.
Oh yeah.
This week and last week.
Yep.
So, like you said, we're not going to stop. We're
Yeah.
going to keep talking about it and keep an eye on your representatives. If for 1 second they start pulling the "I voted for grocery tax credit increase," no, pass.
Yep. Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
you have their back. So
Absolutely. Yeah. Let them feel the heat on this one. They deserve it. They're lying to you. They are controlling the process. Scott Bedke said himself a couple of years ago that this was supposed to be an arena of ideas. It's an arena of Scott Bedke's ideas. In fact, if you didn't, go watch Ron Nate's interview from last night with Wayne.
Wayne Hoffman, that was great. I saw part of that, and those two had a great time. It was fun, really an entertaining discussion.
Yeah,
and
it was fantastic. So
Ron Nate's not going to give up.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's not. This is not done. It's not over. There's more to come. Speaking of more to come, someone's getting grounded. I swear. I have some stuff we're going to give away. We are still working on the shirts to give those away. We're going to give them away next Friday.
Yes.
If you don't remember, so it's
Against a flag. Don't step on Snick in Idaho.
Don't tread on Idaho shirt with yellow. I got to turn off the blurring, but we've got a yellow one. They're size large.
Okay.
And these are from.
Oh, I like that too.
Yeah.
Who did these?
It's Amendment 2 Apparel up in North Idaho. Chris Cord, great guy, really good business guy.
Amendment 2 Apparel. Yeah, they got some good stuff. That's great.
Yeah, so we're giving away a hoodie and 2 shirts to 3 different people. Everybody gets one. I don't want you to hoard because there's got to be an economics joke in there.
But hey, when you get your $20 in 2 years, maybe you could buy a shirt of your own.
Oh, there it is. There it is. So hang on one second.
Benefit Idaho businesses.
Yeah.
How am I going to spend my $20? So I've been thinking about this.
Donate it to the Idaho Freedom Foundation. No, if you want one of those shirts, text the word shirt to 208-514-4480. Shirt to 208-514-4480. And we will give you the shirt. We gave away the belt. I need to get a picture from Kirsten Lucas of her wearing it.
Yes, she won the belt. No relation to me. But we met.
Probably nepotism.
Yeah, I get anyone with the last name Lucas, give me a call.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. I think I'm ready. I'm ready to have a good weekend. How about you?
You're ready to have a good weekend. Good. Put this on the back burner. Rest your brain. I know it's always simmering. Go do your Uber thing.
Yeah, man.
Go get your kids some ice cream.
Oh, no, she did you see her? She doesn't deserve that. No, absolutely not.
And we should probably take a poll. We'll do this probably next week, but if we're still talking about grocery tax, what would you have done? And let us know in the comments, even after the show. If you were a legislator, would you have voted for this? Me personally, no. I wouldn't let my constituents be slapped in the face. The end.
Yep.
And I don't care if people say any kind of tax repeal. No, this is not even tax repeal. This is a middle finger to the people, as far as I'm concerned. And I wouldn't let my constituents stand for that. That's me. But as Dustin says, it ain't over. Next week, we'll probably talk a little bit about Corey DeAngelis, have some clips of that, and the triumphant return of Dustin.
We're actually gonna have a hype video next week. We're gonna have a cool hype video. It's gonna be awesome. And by the way, we're gonna be releasing details. I'm way behind because we've got a Saturday surprise coming. I
don't even know about the surprise.
Nope,
all right, so
you'll see.
Anything.
Just pay attention, guys. I've been working on that, but next week is an education choice rally at the Idaho Capitol. We're going to stream it live, but there's going to be a lot of people at the Capitol. So if you can come, be there. We're going to have a hype video there too. But there's a lot going on. Ed Choice is going to get a hearing. The ESA bill that we've been working on with lawmakers is going to get a hearing. Next week is a huge week. Huge. If that wasn't clear enough.
You're going to be even busier next week.
It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. This is our time. We're going to win on some big issues and we're going to make some people
keep parents informed, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm good.
All right, we're good. Thank you everyone for joining Steph Lucas Live as we break it down. We will be back on Wednesday, midway through the legislative week. It's going to be huge. So don't miss it. And then don't forget, text your shirt. Text the number. Which number?
208-514-4480. Text the word shirt. You want this? This is super soft. It's super, I love the colors here. Amendment to Apparel. Really good, guys.
Come on.
And it has the snake.
That's awesome. All right. Thanks so much, Justin. We'll see you. We'll see you back here on Wednesday. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining.